Welcome to Self-Taught Developer channel. I'm Frano and I will explain in this video which extensions for the Visual Studio Code I'm using as a self-taught developer and also when developing. These are the basics extensions that you can also use if you would like, that will help you in your developing any programs inside the VSCode. If you do not have Visual Studio Code already installed, check the other video where I have explained the steps how to download it and also install it on your PC. In this video, I will show you how to use 3 extensions that I'm using all the time, and they are at least necessary to use it if you are programming as a beginner. If you would like to use any other, feel free to use it. But for now, as if you are just starting and also using a starter as a beginner in developing, these are at least what is useful. Okay, first of all, when you open a Visual Studio Code like I have done right now, first you have a choice to open a new folder. You can also open a folder that you already have used, or if you are a completely new one, you can also create that. So for example, I will click open new folder, and for example on the desktop I have a VSCode folder already created to use it for the Visual Studio Code. I will click the add. We have a new folder inside our workspace, and for now I would like to add two files. First one is HTML, second one is JavaScript, and simply go here, click new file, and for example write here index.html. Then new file, also index.js, which means a JavaScript. So we have 2 files created inside, and you can see that in front of them you have some kind of a symbols that represents HTML, and the second one is JavaScript. So there are 3 extensions I would like to use. The first one is to change the appearance of these symbols inside the VS Code. So for that I will use 3 extensions. First one is live preview, second one is prettier, and the third one is VSCode icons. So here are the web pages. For example, you have a marketplace for the visualstudio.com. You can simply install the live preview. The same is for the prettier, that helps to show you a code in a much better format, and also you have an icons for the Visual Studio Code that brings an appearance for these icons. There are 2 options. First option is to install them from this website, and the second one is to go and install them from inside the VS Code. For example, let's install the VS Code icons. I will copy. I will not click install here, but I will go inside the VS Code and install them from inside. And that is go here on the left side and find here where it is extensions. And you can also search here by copy and pasting this one here, and you can see here you have several of them that are used for the icons, but I will use this one, VSCode icons, and click install. Installing in a few seconds. This will extension be installed on your VS Code. So when I go here inside the Explorer in the workspace, you can see that symbol in front of in the HTML has been changed, and here it is a symbol of HTML, and below that it is also for the JavaScript. So this is the extension that defines a new symbols for the icons inside Visual Studio Code. Then we can move forward and install the second one, and the second one will be, just a minute, it will be a prettier that formats the code that you are using. It sets some kind of colors for different type of the variables inside the code. So I can also use this one, copy it, go into Visual Studio Code, here inside the extensions, click prettier, and you can see it here. It is the same extension as it is on the website I have shown you. Click install. It is installing. In a few seconds it will be completely installed, and then we can move forward to the third one, and that is live preview. Now let's copy this one, live preview. It is a blue symbol. Go here and live preview, and here it is installed. So the live preview is used to show you what you code on the right side, on the below, immediately on your PC. So your PC is acting as server. So when you make some kind of modification inside the code, you can see immediately what you are doing. So this is a pretty useful tool, so you know what you're doing. You're not blind, for example, writing 10-20 lines of code and then just to run it inside the web browser. You can simply have it immediately when you type it inside your code. It will be shown here. I will show you that right now. So we have 3 extensions that are pretty useful and that I am using, so you can also start using on your own. Now, for example, let's go here in the workspace, so you can see it here. When you start the VS Code again, you will have everything applied. Sometimes it can happen that the Visual Studio Code has not been completely applied. For example, let me show you what happens. Click on uninstall, reload required, and then you will see inside here there are still old symbols. And if we install again, Visual Studio icon, install it, you will see it here. You can see that there is an option here to change it to what is the currently, which is the standard Visual Studio Code that you get automatically with the Visual Code, but you have also a Visual Studio Code icons. So you can see it here. If you would like to select it, click here and then you will have changed completely here. Then, for example, let's here open a new folder. Add new folder. Sorry, open a new folder. For example, I will open one of the folders that already contains a code. So for example, I will use this one. And you can see here, what do we have? We have, for example, one of the code written inside. We have a solution, for example, and we have other projects also folder inside here. So for example, we can have it also this one here. So how to show you what is the preview, for example, for this extension, which is just a minute already what is installed. Prettier, this one is here. You can see it is some kind of help that helps you to code to format the code that you are using. So this is very useful to show you inside the code what is the difference between some kind of variables. If you go here inside the code, for example, here inside the solution also, it has everything that is pretty simple. So for example, we need something that is much more complex. I will open a new folder just to show you what is also here visible. Now inside this project, you can see there is a different coloring scheme for several of these variables. For example, for the meta it is blue, for the charge set is white blue, for this one is brown, and so on and so on. This is a prettier extension that helps you to recognize in different colors different variables that you are using. Then the third extension is the preview. For example, if we go here to the index and click the right mouse button, you will have here an option show preview. This means it will open a new window on the right side that will open as your HTML file on your server, which means on your PC. So when you change something here inside this code, everything will be visible here inside the live preview. So this is very helpful extension that helps you to use the code and immediately see the results as you write here. So these are the 3 extensions that I'm using and they are very useful for beginners. Later on, as you move forward with the code, you can also use them, but at the start this will be much useful to help you to define and also to write the code immediately, to see the results, and also to make this workspace here much more nicer to see it, and also to distinguish between different file types, for example HTML, JavaScript, and so on. So this is all. This is the setup for the beginners for the Visual Studio Code. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below in the description. See you next time and happy coding!